Welcome back to Shum's Universe. So today, guys, I want to go over the sun signs that are going to dominate in 2025. So there's a few sun signs that we know will dominate, and I do it in a very different way from every other astrologer online, every other numerologist online. I do things very differently because I combine these two, and I call this astronumerics, which means I can use, I'd say, astrology influences to understand numerology, and I use numerological influences to understand astrology. So when you understand that these things are intertwined, it's just the difference between English and Spanish. They're saying the same thing just in two different ways. You have to understand that there's also ways that you can know what signs specifically will dominate based off of their numbers in the zodiac wheel. So we know in numerology that there's 3 life paths that are going to dominate this year for sure. 3, 6, and 9. There's a lot of arguments online right now with people saying, oh, the 9's not going to dominate. 9s don't do well in 9 years. That's complete garbage. You always do well in your own year. And if you don't, that just means that your karma wasn't that great, so that you couldn't actually utilize your energy. I'll give you an example. My channel expanded a lot last year as I'm a life path 8. I did very well in crypto last year. I did very well with investments overall. Everything that I set out to do last year, I actually got done. And it felt easier than usual. Things went easier and I wasn't used to that. Because is the fact that I was thinking, oh, I'm a dog in a dragon year, so it should be harder. It was easier. It was great. And that's the thing, is the same thing with 2015, another year I made the most money, an 8 year. So you have to understand that when you're in your own number, you're gonna have a very, I wouldn't say easy time, but you might find it to be less pushback from the universe. So it is easier. Bringing that over to astrology now, there's certain astrology signs that will also dominate based off of what number they are in the zodiac wheel. There's 4 specific ones. I was going to say 3, but there's actually 4. There's 3 life path numbers that dominate. That's 3, 6, 9. Like I said, 9s will do well, 6s will do very well, and the life path 3s will do very well. It's obvious. I'm not saying they can start new things in a 9 year and do well, but they can continue on their voyage and then see a lot of success. Speaking on the zodiac portion of it, if your sun sign is, for one, a Gemini, you will do very well this year. The reason being, you're represented by Mercury, cool. Planetary influence means something here, that's fine. But you're the 3rd sign. So if you're a 3rd sign Gemini, then understand that you're going to do very well because you're going to be able to express yourself in more ways. It's going to have more impact. Your thought process should feel a lot clearer than usual. And overall, your impact on people will have just a lot more influence when it comes to your dialect, what you say. It'll have influence. Even the way in which you speak, the Gemini's throat chakra has always been enhanced. So what you speak is going to come into existence a lot faster. So you'll see things come to fruition for you faster than usual. My warning to Gemini is to be very careful with this because you can find yourself in a situation that's delicate. If you had a bad last few years and you're a Gemini, you're like, oh, I'm just tired of life, whatever, I'm a loser. That's what's going to happen. You're going to attract more of that to you. So you want to make sure that you don't let the 9 ground that into reality for you. You got to be very intentional with how you speak and how you think. It all starts here and then it comes out of here and then you do the actions to get things done. So you got to make sure that what you speak to people, what you speak to yourself, that inner dialogue, I'm not saying for it to be positive, but it needs to be at very minimum constructive. Meaning if you're going to criticize yourself, make sure it's constructive criticism. That's going to lead you to improvement. Number 1 thing for you guys would be growth mindset. I'm starting here, but I can end up here by the end of the year or by the end of the decade or by the end of the month or by the end of the week and in the day. I got to be able to just grow and keep leveling up. So as a Gemini, like I said, you'll have enhanced expression. Make sure you use that enhanced manifestation of expression in the right way, please. Next one is Virgos. You guys are the 6th sign. You guys will do very well because in profession this year, you guys govern the 6th house, the house of material transaction health. Sun sign Virgos, depending on your rising sign, you should still feel overall more healthy this year. You should feel stronger in a respect to your decision making. You guys are usually people that analyze things a bit too much. You'll find that you'll have a much more clearer thought process this year. And most specifically, you'll find that within your career, meaning how you make your money, things will just come a lot smoother. So it's not much you guys have to do in comparison to Gemini where you have to be focusing on, oh, should I be doing this or this? Be positive, be constructive, but you'll just find that the efforts that you've put in to get money will be a lot easier for you in comparison to other years where it's been a bit harder for you to attain. So I just say use that to your advantage. Negative effects of it, not much. As long as you're not a nitpicker, as long as you're not overly critical with yourself, you're not overly selective in that sense, you should do very well this year as long as you keep the right mindset and stay very diligent and focused, which I really don't have to tell you guys. You guys are naturally like that. Next is Sagittarius. Sagittarius individuals is the 9th sign. You guys will have, out of all the sun signs, Sagittarius will dominate this year the most. Reason being, if you take voyages, you guys are like the only sun sign I would say can actually go on a trip this year and then gain clarity of mindset, learn new things, and network in the right way to get things done. You'll meet like-minded individuals. If I was a Sagittarius this year, my main focus would be mastermind group orientation, bring people together to get things done. So as a conglomerate, the more you can bring unionization to what's around you, your resources, the people around you, your peers, is the more you're going to find that you get things in sync. So if everybody, just like with life path lines, if you're Sagittarius, you have the possibility to actually, you guys can possibly start new things and it might be successful. And I don't mean that in a sense of like something brand new, but let's say you had a business that you've been trying to do single-handedly for the last 2 to 3 years. This year you have an opportunity to actually say, you know what, let me bring my dad on or my mom on or a best friend or a cousin, uncle, whoever. You can bring people onto your project and it'll actually bring success because you bring a cohesive energy that will allow you to bridge your manifestation. So you need to understand this is a year for you guys to learn things, draw conclusions to projects, and then bring cohesion between yourself and your peers. That's the main thing. The last one I want to cover is Pisces. Pisces adds to it's the 12th sign, adds to 3. Still part of that trine for sure. Pisces people, you guys always have a hard time when it comes to emotional volatility, being sensitive to your environment. This year, you might find that in comparison to other years where your environment sort of like inwardly just crushes you in a sense or affects you because you guys are so psychic, you'll find that you actually have that psychic energy going outwards. I'd say wear gemstones. You have to hit me up to get the gemstones, the proper ones. There's certain rings I can offer you for that. But you need to know what gemstones to put on, and it has to be on the right side of your body because the right side's what actually puts out. I know cameras are opposite, so it looks like I'm holding my left hand up, but it's actually my right. You need to use your right hand, right side of your body to get things done because that's what's actually pushing things outwards. Pisces people in general, even without the 9 year, I'd say you should be wearing gems on the right side, especially when it comes to wealth accumulation or things to for emotional stability like amethyst, just simply because it's going to help you, for one, have a better cerebral, and then 2, it helps you manifest in a better way because you guys are so powerful that you adapt to your environment, but sometimes your adaptation turns into conformity and compliance, which leads you to be destitute and just in a position where you're always just like sort of, no disrespect, like on your knees to your environment. You're at its beck and will. You need to make sure that you have your environment under sort of like a chokehold. You have your foot on its neck. And the only way to do that is to have the right gems and to understand how to use your psychic abilities, which is for another video or at least probably an individual reading. I'm not going to lie to you, just because each individual Pisces is going to be different based on their decan and then also their numerology. Right? Their chart's going to be different. So it's going to explain to you how to use that ability in a very different way for each person. It's like a fingerprint. But in respects to the generalization of it, of the archetype Pisces, you guys will be able to control your environment more this year. You'll find that you have more of an impact on your environment based off your thought, words, and actions. Your manifestation will come in at a faster rate. And more than ever, you can change people's thought frequency more than they actually change yours. So you should be very resolute in your plans this year. And the 9 will help you ground those into reality and you'll be successful. All right, so those are the 4 signs that are going to be most successful this year, guys. If you're not one of those signs, don't get discouraged. I have advice for you guys coming up as well. But those are the signs that dominate. Every year, there's a few signs that are going to dominate. Those are the ones for this year. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Holla at me for today, guys. Peace.